Thailand truly has it all. Incredible food, stunning natural landscapes, rich culture, and is relatively affordable too. We spent 2 full weeks traveling all around Thailand experiencing everything this amazing country has to offer. And in this video, we'll show you how we spent those 14 days in Thailand, sharing some of our favorite travel tips, and also answering some common questions that you may have. Even though Thailand and Southeast Asia in general can be considered a budget-friendly travel destination, we'll also share a detailed breakdown of our costs at the end of the video, along with some final thoughts, so be sure to stay tuned for that. A couple logistical notes to mention before we get started. We visited Thailand at the end of the year, which is arguably one of the nicest times of the year to visit Thailand. And although Thailand has warm weather throughout the year, it does have the wet and monsoon seasons as well. Thankfully, during this period, the temperatures are more comfortable, making it better for outdoor activities. That said though, because of the ideal weather and the holiday season, this is also one of the more expensive times to visit. For getting around Thailand, we primarily flew between cities, and then within each city, we heavily relied on Grab, with a couple exceptions that we'll call out throughout the video. Okay, so let's get started on how we spent 14 wonderful days in Thailand. Like most people entering Thailand, our first stop was Bangkok, the capital city. After a long flight, we definitely couldn't wait to get some food, and luckily the famous Khao San Road was just a short walk from our hotel. We dropped off our bags, then headed over to enjoy some delicious street food to combat the jet lag. And if there's one thing you'll never run out in Bangkok, it's food. The city is packed with night markets, food stalls, and local restaurants on nearly every corner, each offering something new to try. Whether you're after spicy noodles, fresh mango sticky rice, or grilled meats on a stick, you'll find it all within walking distance. Exploring the street food scene at night is an experience in itself. Before calling it a night, we definitely spent a bit more time wandering around and exploring the many wild and colorful vendors along the street. Day 2 was our first full day here in Thailand, and it was packed from morning to night, and we were ready to explore. We started the morning with one of Thailand's most iconic dishes, pad thai. Stir-fried rice noodles with egg, tofu, bean sprouts, and crushed peanuts, all balanced with a sweet and tangy tamarind sauce. It's a dish you simply must try when you're here, and perfect fuel for a busy day ahead. From there, we made our way to Bangkok's famous flower market, a colorful maze of fresh blooms and fragrant petals. It's really alive in the mornings, and wandering through the stalls is definitely a feast for the senses, with most flowers being sold for temple offerings or home decoration. A short walk from the flower market brought us to 2 of Bangkok's most impressive cultural landmarks, the Grand Palace and Wat Po. The Grand Palace is a massive complex that once served as the official residence of the Thai kings. It's a stunning blend of ornate architecture, glittering spires, and intricate murals. Keep in mind though, there is a dress code and you'll need to cover both your shoulders and your knees. And just around the corner is Wat Po, home of the famous reclining Buddha, a massive golden statue stretching over 46 meters long. The temple complex is also known for its colorful chetties and beautiful courtyard, a perfect place for some awesome photos. The last major landmark in this area is Wat Arun, the iconic temple. Although it is just across the river and a short ferry ride away, we decided to actually stay on the eastern side and admire it from afar. There are plenty of rooftop bars and restaurants lining the riverbanks where you can actually watch the sunset with Wat Arun glowing in the background. It's one of the best views in Bangkok and we highly recommend it. After enjoying the sunset there, we headed to one of Bangkok's mega malls, Icon Siam. This luxury shopping and lifestyle complex sits on the river and is the boarding point for many river cruises. We had booked one in advance and enjoyed a relaxing evening with a buffet dinner, live music, and some dancing on the water, all while soaking in the glittering views of Bangkok at night. Bangkok is renowned for its markets, and today we set out to explore a few of the most iconic ones. To make the day even smoother, we hired a private driver through our hotel, a great option if you're planning to visit several spots outside the city center. Our first stop was the famous Maeklong Railway Market. What makes this market so unique is that an active train literally runs through the middle of it. As the train approaches, vendors quickly fill up their shops and move their goods just inches away from the tracks. It's an intense and slightly chaotic scene, and honestly a bit nerve-wracking seeing the train pass right in front of you. The market is an exciting place to visit, filled with local food stalls and vendors selling fresh produce and snacks. We stuck around for a while, grabbed lunch, and waited to catch the next train coming through. Just make sure to check the train schedule ahead of time as they don't come very often, and you can even ride the train itself for a different perspective. Next, we visited Damnom Saduik Floating Market, the largest and most well-known floating market near Bangkok. Despite some reviews calling it a little too touristy, we still had a great time. There are definitely other options, but some weren't open on the day we visited, so we opted for this market, which is open every single day of the week. And just as a heads up, many drivers will actually try to take you to private piers where the boat prices are significantly marked up. Be sure to navigate directly to Uwanda Pier, where you'll find more reasonable prices. The market itself was a colorful maze of boats selling everything from souvenirs to street snacks. While some of the items were a bit overpriced, it was still fun to cruise through the canals, sample local food, and get a glimpse of how traditional floating markets once looked. After returning to Bangkok, we wrapped up the night at one of the city's trendiest night markets, Jod Fairs. This night market is a must for food lovers, and the highlight of the market is the famous spicy pork ribs. Warning, they were very spicy, but absolutely delicious, and we still think about them to this day. After 3 days in the bustling capital city, we decided to take a break and visit one of the best day trips from Bangkok, the ancient city of Ayutthaya, Thailand's former capital. There's actually several ways to get there, but we chose to take the train to avoid the traffic and save on some transportation costs. Luckily, the weather was perfect and the open windows in the train kept things breezy, but we can imagine that during the hotter months, it can be definitely a lot less comfortable without air conditioning. Upon arriving, we hired a private driver to take us around for the day and explore the incredible sights scattered throughout the city. We started at Wat Mahatet, best known for the iconic Buddha head entwined in the roots of a banyan tree, a truly surreal sight. And then from there, we explored several more temples and ruins, each one offering its own beauty and history. Of course, a trip to Ayutthaya also needs to include their famous boat noodles. Just make sure to order many bowls as each bowl is tiny. And then to wrap up the day, we hopped on a boat tour around the ancient city, which offered peaceful views of the ruins glowing in the golden light. And as the sun dipped beyond the horizon, we made our way back to the train station and caught a train back to Bangkok. Our time in the capital came to an end, and next we headed north to explore two of Thailand's most beloved cities, Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai. And while you can visit them in either order, we chose to fly to Chiang Rai first. Chiang Rai is a much smaller, quieter city, but it's home to some of the most surreal and artistic temples in the country. After dropping off our bags, our first stop was to the Ban Dam Museum, also known as the Black House. This open-air museum is the creation of a Thai artist and features over 40 black-themed buildings filled with thought-provoking and sometimes eerie art. Many of the pieces incorporate animal bones, animal skins, and dark wood carvings, evoking themes of death. And honestly, it's a bit of a scary contrast to the colorful and bright traditional Thai temples that you see throughout the rest of the country. Next, we made our way to the towering Goddess of Mercy statue, which overlooks the town. It's worth walking around the area, and don't miss the elevator ride to the top for panoramic views of the Chiang Rai countryside. Then, as golden hour approached, we headed to the famous Blue Temple. This is a relatively new temple that has become known for its vibrant blue-colored exterior and interior. It's far less crowded than the more famous White Temple, making it a great place to take in the artwork and snap some stunning photos. And then to wrap up the day, we ended up at the Chiang Rai Night Bazaar, where we sampled a variety of local dishes and enjoyed the lively atmosphere, complete with live music, traditional performances, and even a fireworks show. For our second day in Chiang Rai, we woke up bright and early to visit the city's most iconic landmark, the White Temple. Although it's open throughout the day, we aimed to arrive right when it opened to beat the crowds. That said, we weren't the only ones with this idea, and there was already plenty of people outside before the gates even opened. The White Temple is located just outside the city center and requires a bit of a drive to get there, and it's a masterpiece of modern Thai architecture. As the morning sun rose, the glass mosaics embedded in the all-white structure shimmered brilliantly, creating an almost ethereal glow. It's no surprise this is one of the top attractions in Chiang Rai, and it's unlike any other temple we've ever seen. With plenty of photo opportunities throughout the complex, it's a must visit if you're in the area. Beyond its beauty, the temple is actually filled with some unexpected details, including carvings and some pop culture references like the Ninja Turtles and Predator. Interestingly, it's also still a work in progress, with many new structures still being added over time. Then before leaving Chiang Rai, we stopped by Lolita Cafe, one of the city's most Instagrammable cafes, perfect for some great photos and a nice relaxing meal. Then in the afternoon, we boarded a bus for a 3-hour journey to Chiang Mai. We had pre-booked the bus ahead of time just in case the seats ran out, and definitely recommend doing that to have a peace of mind. That said though, if you have flexible plans, it's also possible to buy tickets directly at the terminal. Our next stop was Chiang Mai, and Chiang Mai is often regarded as the cultural heart of northern Thailand, offering everything from elephant sanctuaries to trendy cafes, artisanal shops, and historical temples. For our first full day in Chiang Mai, we chose to spend it at one of the region's elephant sanctuaries, an unforgettable and meaningful experience. These sanctuaries are typically located a bit outside the city, and the one we visited was about a 2-hour drive each way. After being picked up early in the morning by our driver, we spent the day learning how the caretakers provide for the elephants. We also got the chance to feed them, walk alongside them, and simply enjoy their calm, gentle presence in a serene environment. Elephants are more than just an attraction in Thailand. They are deeply symbolic and are considered a national animal. That said, it's important to acknowledge that there can be ethical questions about visiting these sanctuaries. While we can't speak for every sanctuary, the one we visited treated the elephants with genuine care and like family, and we felt comfortable enough supporting that. But as always, we recommend doing your own research and deciding what aligns best with your values. For our 8th day in Thailand, we kicked off the morning with one final iconic visit to Wat Phra That Doi Suthep, the most famous temple in Chiang Mai. Perched on the mount overlooking the city, we climbed a staircase lined with Naga serpents on each side to reach the temple grounds, and were rewarded with a beautiful panoramic view of Chiang Mai from above. While there, we also happened to receive a local blessing. Following that, after several days of sightseeing, we opted for a more laid-back day, diving into the incredible food scene that Chiang Mai is known for. Of course, we had to try the city's signature dish, khao soi, a creamy, spicy curry noodle soup with also crispy noodles on top. But that was just the beginning. Some of our other favorite foods included the roast chicken, pork leg rice, and just about every single dish we tried was bursting with flavor. Chiang Mai is a foodie's dream, and we could have honestly spent many more days there trying all the amazing foods that Chiang Mai has to offer. As it also happened, our last day up north also fell on New Year's Eve, and it turned out to be one of the most magical nights of our trip. If you're lucky enough to be in Chiang Mai during either New Year's Eve or the Yi Peng Lantern Festival, you absolutely must take part in the festivities. The celebration started around 9 p.m. when vendors began selling the lanterns, and soon after, people from all over gathered to release them into the sky. Most people save their lanterns for the stroke of midnight, just as the fireworks were bursting into the air and the sky was painted with thousands of glowing lanterns, creating a breathtaking and unforgettable scene. It truly felt like something out of a dream, and it was hands down one of the most memorable New Year's Eves we've ever experienced. After an epic New Year's celebration, we finally made our way south. For the rest of our trip, we'd be trading temples and mountains for Thailand's stunning coastal landscapes, home of some of the most breathtaking beaches in the world. Our first stop in southern Thailand was to the Krabi province, specifically the laid-back resort town of Ao Nang. After a short flight, we landed at Krabi airport where our driver was waiting. On the way to town, we decided to make a stop at one of the area's most famous hikes, Tiger Cave Temple. The climb is no joke, with over 1,200 steep steps to the top, and combined with the tropical heat, it was a true challenge. But once we reached the summit, we were rewarded with panoramic views of the lush green landscapes and the limestone cliffs, a perfect way to kick off the second half of our adventure. After the hike, we checked into our resort in Ao Nang, where we spent the rest of the afternoon relaxing and unwinding by the beach, and finally soaked in the stunning sunset over the Andaman Sea. We then enjoyed our evening with a delicious seafood dinner and a quick stroll through the town's night market, where we not only saw a local Muay Thai fight, but Didi once again enjoyed her favorite dessert, mango sticky rice. For our second day in Krabi, we visited Railay, which is located just a short boat ride away and known for its towering limestone cliffs, turquoise waters, and perfect beaches. What makes Railay extra special is the area is only accessible by boat, and you cannot get there via train or cars. After a short boat ride, we kicked off the day with a rock climbing tour, one of the most iconic activities in Railay. The cliffs here attract climbers from all around the world, and it's easy to see why. With routes for all skill levels and unbeatable views as you climb high above the beaches, it was both a thrilling and scenic experience we'll never forget. After the climb, we hiked a bit to check out a few photo-worthy viewpoints and the famous Bat Cave, where we took in even more dramatic scenery. And this was one of Didi's favorite activities during our entire trip. We then grabbed a quick lunch at one of the local restaurants in the village before renting a kayak to explore nearby hidden coves and beaches that surround the peninsula. After another full day of exploration, we caught a boat back to Ao Nang. But if you're someone who really loves outdoor adventure and being immersed in nature, we definitely recommend staying a night or two in Railay for even more adventure opportunities. The next morning, we caught the first ferry of the day headed to the world-famous Phi Phi Islands. There's actually a couple ways to get there, a speedboat or a larger, slower ferry. While the speedboat may get you there quicker, be warned, it can be a bumpy ride. Since the boat departures are limited to only a few times per day, and travel takes a few hours each way, we highly recommend staying at least one night on the island rather than attempting a rush day trip. Upon arrival, we quickly noticed that Phi Phi felt a lot busier and more commercialized than Krabi or Ao Nang. The main town is filled with tourists and buzzing energy, a big contrast to the more laid-back vibe we had gotten used to. To explore the islands more comfortably at our own pace, we decided to splurge on a private longtail boat for the next 2 days. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions of our trip. We spent the rest of the day sailing up to Bamboo Island, where we snorkeled around in the crystal clear waters and relaxed on the pristine beach. And on the way back, we stopped by an even more secluded cove, which turned out to be even better for snorkeling with far fewer people. And then we finally capped off the day on the private boat enjoying a perfect sunset. For our second day in Phi Phi, we made our way to the iconic Maya Bay. In hopes of beating the crowds, we set out early, even before the regular boat tours began arriving. Unfortunately, we weren't the only ones with that idea. Even at sunrise, there were already dozens of boats unloading eager visitors. One unexpected downside arriving early was the sun hadn't fully risen yet, so the water did not have the beautiful turquoise color that Maya Bay is known for. But as we waited a bit, and as the light gradually filled the cove, the beauty of the bay came to life. And due to conservation efforts to protect the marine life like the reef sharks, swimming is no longer allowed in the bay, which actually works in favor of preserving its natural beauty and giving everyone a chance to enjoy the unobstructed views and better photo opportunities. Then to wrap up our private boat tour, we made one final stop to a nearby cove famous for its wild monkeys. After that, we finally returned to our resort where we spent the rest of our time relaxing at our private beach before it was time to head out again. Once again, we loaded our bags onto a longtail boat, then boarded a larger ferry bound for Phuket, the largest island in Thailand. And once we arrived in Phuket, from the ferry terminal, we caught a taxi to our final resort. Phuket can definitely feel a little overwhelming at first. It's Thailand's largest island and is packed with countless beaches, resorts, and neighborhoods, each offering something different. After doing some research, we decided to keep it simple and explore a few areas near our resort. We started our day with a relaxing walk to two of Phuket's most popular beaches, Kata Beach and Karam Beach. Both offered soft sand, clear waters, and a more laid-back atmosphere compared to some of the island's busier spots. Along the way, we also stopped by a charming cafe to enjoy a refreshing drink and take in the coastal views. In the evening, we treated ourselves to more incredible seafood. Phuket definitely doesn't disappoint when it comes to fresh and flavorful dishes. We also explored the Kata night market, where we found everything from spicy grilled skewers to sweet roti and other souvenirs. Though, one popular area we ended up skipping was Patong Beach. While it's known for its nightlife and energy, we opted out due to the crowds and the fact that there were plenty of other amazing spots to enjoy without the chaos. But if you're looking for action and entertainment, Patong might be worth checking out. And for our final day here in Thailand, we decided to take it slow and soak in the last few hours of vacation. The morning was all about enjoying the resort, lounging by the pools, and sipping cocktails, enjoying the buffet, and making the most of the peaceful atmosphere. In the afternoon, we headed to Phuket Old Town to experience a different side of the island. Since most of the beaches and resorts were actually located on the western side, the drive to the Old Town actually took a bit of time, but it was well worth it. We had lunch at a traditional southern Thai restaurant that was absolutely delicious and very, very spicy. Afterward, we strolled through the colorful streets of Old Town, admiring the architecture, boutique shops, and street art that gave the area its own unique charm. Eventually, we made our way back to the hotel to gather our things and then finally head to the airport. After 2 incredible weeks of exploring Thailand's cities, mountains, temples, and beaches, we were heading home with unforgettable memories and definitely a few extra pounds from all the food. As promised, here's a high-level breakdown of our costs for 2 weeks in Thailand. We're leaving off the cost of our international flight to Thailand since that will vary depending on where you're coming from, but everything else reflects what we spent during our time there. As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we visited during Thailand's peak travel season, so some of these prices may be a bit higher compared to other times of the year. Let's start with activities. We spent about 15,000 Thai baht total, which cover costs like entrance fees to temples, the elephant sanctuary, and even our rock climbing tour in Railay. Our biggest expense there ended up being transportation at 45,000 baht, mainly due to the 3 domestic flights we took between the cities. All the grab rides, ferries, and buses also added up over time. For accommodations, we stayed at a mix of hotels and resorts and spent 40,000 baht for the 2 weeks, since we did splurge a bit the last few days to stay at nice beachfront resorts. So this could be an area to save if you're on a tighter budget. Next, we spent about 20,000 baht on food, which included everything from cheap street eats to some nicer sit-down meals. And finally, we spent 2,000 baht or so on souvenirs and gifts. All in all, Thailand offers incredible value for a wide range of travel styles, whether you're on a backpacker budget or looking for a luxurious getaway. For anything that we would change or do differently, if we could change one thing, it would simply be having more time. We would have loved to stay in Thailand for a few more weeks as there's so much to do and so much more to experience in each location. If you're planning your own trip though, here are some other alternatives depending on your interests. For a more beach-focused adventure, you might consider heading to Koh Samui and the nearby islands. We also skipped Koh Lanta this time around, which is another laid-back spot in the Krabi region that we've heard great things about. Personally, while Phuket is convenient with its international airport, we actually think it may be worth skipping in favor of spending more time on the smaller islands. You'll likely find a more relaxing and scenic experience off the beaten path. On the other hand, if you're into mountain cultural experiences, you can spend more time up north and explore some of the lesser-known cities in northern Thailand, or even one of the many national parks. We hope this video has been helpful and answered many of your questions, but if there's anything else you'd like to know, please leave them in the comments below. With that being said, thank you all for watching to the end, and we'll see you again next time.